Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain, and today I'm going to be reviewing and showing you how to play Starship Captains from CGE. So I want to give a big thank you to CGE for this free review copy of Starship Captains that they gave me to check out and play and film some content with. Big thank you, CGE. And this game was designed by Peter B. Hofgaard, listed right there. Now, before I get too into this, I do want to say I've got a ton of links in the description down below that you can check out at your leisure. There's a link to BoardGameCaptain.com, which is a great hub for all things Board Game Captain. There's also a link to my Teespring store. You can get yourself some cool Board Game Captain merch, t-shirts, mugs, etc. And there's a link to my Patreon if you're in a position to and would like to support the channel. All right, so let's start with the stats on Starship Captains. Starship Captains is listed for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, and for 25 minutes per player. Now, for the 1 to 4 players, there is a solo mode. I have not tried the solo mode, but I have played this at both 2 and 4 players both. And I can tell you it plays equally well at 2 and 4 players. I have no issues there at all. Now, in regard to the ages 12 and up, this is probably a really good estimate, actually. This is kind of like a middleweight game. It's not super complicated. It's not super easy. You might put it on the heavier end of family weight games, so 12 and up is fine. Though you could get some younger players playing as long as you had older players, more experienced players to help them out. As for the 25 minutes per player, this is not a bad estimate at all. I have found that 2 players can come in under an hour, whereas more players are going to make it go a bit longer. But of course, also the more experienced all the players are will speed this up. I do like a range, and this kind of is a range, because again, at being at 25 minutes per player, at 2 players they're saying 50 minutes, whereas, 75 minutes for 3 players. And like I say, that's actually not that bad an estimate. So let's have a look inside the box at everything that comes in here. Now, as you can see, there is no insert in this box. Everything's just sort of in here, and there is some interesting assembly required. I'll talk about that in a minute. First thing we have is the rule book. Now, the rule book is very good. Full color, lots of illustrations and diagrams of all of everything. Good, really great diagrams for setting up the game, both the communal board and the player boards. No complaints about this rulebook at all. It's a total of 23 pages, but that includes references to what all the cards do as well as solo rules. So it's really not as bad as 23 pages would make you think. Plus, of course, with lots of diagrams and illustrations. Yeah, it's a really well done rulebook. Very, very positive on that. Next, we have lots of little baggies that come with the game to separate out all the various cardboard punch-out tokens. There are a lot of cardboard punch-out tokens in here, as well as decks of cards. But we're going to start by just talking about the fact that, if you've seen one cardboard punch-out token, you've seen them all. So I'm going to run through a few different bags showing those briefly. We have these cardboard punch-out ships that you assemble. This one was a little bit of a head scratcher for me. I mean, they look fine. I actually quite like the look of the ships. I'm going to show you one of them here. That's it from above. That's it from the front. And then that's it from the side there. Now, they look fine, but the reason they're a head scratcher for me, they were a little weird to assemble, and it comes with all of these plastic miniatures as well. And I kind of feel like it really can't have saved too much money to do these ships as cardboard punch-out assembled ships when you've already got a ton of various plastic crew members, which these guys are really pretty cool. You got them in lots of different colors, and there's also lots of different variations. There's crew members that look different in, again, tons of colors. You got them in red, blue, yellow, gray, and also androids. Here's an android here. And interestingly, not only are the crew members other than the androids in tons of poses, you also have crew members that are obviously both male and female, which is really kind of cool. I do like that they did lots of those. But again, it made it a little bit of a head scratch why they didn't just do the ships in plastic as well. That just would have been 4 more plastic ships. Minor issue, but I just thought I would mention it. We have a score pad, which is really nice. I do enjoy it when a game comes with a score pad, even though it's not really necessary. It's nice to have the score pad to be like a quick reference to all the things that score you points. There is a little catalog in here for some CGE titles. I always do like it when games come with those. Now we have cards. The cards are really nice. They all come with very easy to understand iconography and also really cool illustrations. As you can see, the mission cards here are some of my favorites because I absolutely love the illustrations to demonstrate what the missions you're going on are. I'm just going to show a few of these here to give you an idea of what kind of illustrations I'm talking about. They can be funny and references to various different science fiction universes. Obviously, this game has a very big tongue-in-cheek reference to Star Trek, but also has a lot of little references to other sci-fi universes in their cards and artwork as well, which is really kind of cool and is one of the biggest draws for me. When I first saw this game, I was immediately attracted to that. You're going to see a lot more of the cards out, but we have cards for text and all sorts of things like that. We have these boards. These are double-sided. These are boards for your technology, and the different sides are organized slightly differently from each other. You all use the same board, but it allows you to get a little variety in play by, changing which of the sides you use each time. There's also a big fold-out board for the technology market. This is two-sided because one side is used for the solo game while the other side is used for every other version. We have these boards for your basically your political alliances with the three main factions. These are also double-sided and also slightly different on each side. You flip them to kind of randomly decide which side to use before each game to, again, get a little bit of extra variety, which is really cool. Now, this was one other place where there was a bit of interesting assembly is the individual player boards. Now, the backs of the player boards just look like the ships themselves, which is really cool. The front, when you punch these out, you punch them out and there's little like double-sided tape to stick them together. This wasn't so bad at all. They assembled just fine. Just make sure to punch all of these recessed areas out before you assemble it because you don't want to get them stuck down without one of these being punched out. But these are great. Making these recessed areas to put all the various components in is fantastic. Absolutely love these boards. We have them in 4 colors for the 4 different players. Very nice. Again, some more punch-out tokens. We've got some little plastic rings. You'll see them for promoting people. And we have a big double-sided board here. This is great because one side is for 4 players while the other side is actually for every other player count. Really cool. I've played on both sides of this board, and it helps for scaling purposes when playing less than 4 players to have less planets to go to. And then finally, we have some cheat sheets. These are decent. They're a very thin card stock, but they are really nice in that one side has all of the symbols you want to look at, while the other side has a turn overview and how to use crew and things like that. Granted, these could be a little thicker. These are very thin. But, again, minor gripe, minor issue. That's basically it. That is everything that comes in the box here. I just didn't pull out the solo cards. Is really the only thing I didn't take out. So now we're going to head over to the table. I'm going to run you through a few rounds of a 2-player game to kind of give you an idea on how this game plays. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to talk about how this game plays and feels, and I'm going to rate it and review it. Okay, so here you can see that we are completely set up for a 2-player game of Starship Captains. So in order to set up the game, you have to go through the following steps. First, you have to pick the right side of the board. Now, we are playing on the side of the board that is for solo 2-3 players. There is a other side of the board which has more planets that is for 4 players. If you are playing less than 4 players, you also have to remove some components that correspond with having a bit of a smaller board, which of course we have removed. Then you have to set up this track at the top of the board here for things that everybody's going to get at the beginning of 2nd round, 3rd round, and 4th round. Then we have to shuffle up a bunch of triangular tiles to randomly deal out where we have numbered tiles, where we have missions, and where we have the 2 space stations. This is the pirate space station over there, and then would you point to the tin can space station over IU? Those get tiles on them which have benefits for when you end your turn on those space stations. Then you have to mix up the pirate tokens, and certain areas on the board have little skulls on them. Those areas each start with a random pirate on it. The pirate shows the reward you get for defeating the pirate. Then you have to shuffle up the alpha beta tech deck, and deal out a random alpha tech to the tin can board over here and put its achievement card above it. You deal a random achievement card from the other two decks that match the other two boards on top of them. Then you have to deal out 5 random alpha techs from the alpha beta deck onto the board here. If you draw a beta tech, you put it on the bottom of the deck and continue on until you get an alpha tech. Then you deal 3 random omega techs, which are achievement techs. They're techs to give you just points at the end of the game, onto the board there. They can be achieved in the same way as normal techs. However, when removed, they're replaced with alpha beta techs. So those 3 are all there will be for the entirety of the game. Then each player has to set up their own personal boards with damage tokens on the marked spots for both their cargo and their tech upgrades, like I have done here. Each player gets 1 medal to start with, which they put on the board, and each player gets 3 of their ensigns of each color that they place on this track waiting to enter the ready room, as well as 3 ensigns of each color in the ready room, and a cadet, a gray worker, a gray crew member in the ready room. Then you have to have all of your various supplies off board. In the case of both pirate tokens and cargo tokens, they are randomized face down. Those are all off camera, as well as all of the crewmen that are off camera. And that's it. You're ready to play the game. Now, we're just going to run you through a few rounds of this so you can see how you play a game of Starship Captains. But this is a game that is really good to learn while watching. So as we do each of the particular actions, we are going to explain them to you. So without any further ado, Lynn has the first player token. Lynn, would you point to the first player token, please? And Lynn will be taking the first turn. So on her turn, Lynn has to make the decision, does she want to achieve a mission? But of course, she's not on a planet with a mission yet. We both started with our ships here on this main space station. Or does she want to use one of her crew members to activate a room? Also, at the beginning of her first turn, she could decide if she would want to. She could promote her 1 cadet into an ensign of a particular color, because that only costs 1 medal. So, Lynn, what are you going to do for your first turn?
I am going to promote my cadet into a red ensign.
Ooh, you have plans for lots of moving, I guess. Or maybe moving and red for particular missions.
And then I'm going to use him to move.
All right, so now what Lynn did there was she tapped her red ensign to the red room. Now, each of the color rooms, the red, yellow, and blue rooms on her board there, can be used only by the ensigns or commanders, we'll explain those in a little bit, of the correct color. The gray room could be used by any color ensign or the gray cadet. Gray cadets can only use the gray room since they don't have a particular color to use one of the other rooms. Now, the red room allows her to move up to 2 spaces. That means between up to 2 of these snaking pathways between planets. So, Lynn, where are you going to move to?
I am going to go 1, 2.
So Lynn went right up here to this very valuable mission. Now, this mission here you can see is worth 7 points, and it has 3 different color lines with bonuses on them on the side. We're going to explain that when Lynn does a mission, probably next round here. So, Lynn, is that it for your turn?
Yes.
So now Lynn is done, which means it is my turn. At the beginning of my turn, I am also going to promote my cadet to a red ensign. I like that move because I also will want to do a move and use another red cadet, a red ensign rather, for one of the missions. So I'm going to use my red ensign to also do 2 moves, but I'm going in the other direction to move towards this planet here with this mission available to me. And that's going to be it for my first turn.
I am going to complete that mission.
Now, the way this works is, we're going to pick the mission up. I'm passing it to Lynn just because it's closer to me. She slots it in on the side of her board there. Now, to complete a mission, she must place a ensign or cadet or commander next to each of the lines. They do not have to match the line to complete the mission, but if they don't match the line, you do not get the bonus on that line. If they do match the line, you do get the bonus on the line, but whether you match or not, you always get the card, which is worth its points, and that is a 7-point card, correct?
Yes.
Now, also, you have matched every color of every line, so what do you get? Bring us through them one at a time.
So I get an android.
That's for the blue match, yes.
I get 1 up on the gold track.
Now that one point to it there on no point to it on your card. So as you see, getting the red guy there gets a +1 on the gold track. It is a gold arrow. So the gold track, each of these tracks have areas that give you points. Being in the first area here is going to give Lynn 1 point towards the end of the game. But they also have symbols that if you land on them, you will achieve bonus effects as well.
And then for matching the yellow, I get a medal.
So Lynn gets to collect a medal. Now, after completing her mission, she's going to take her mission and put it face down. It's up to everybody else in playing the game to remember how many points and what missions she's completed. She's going to slide all of her crew members down, but then we have to bring up a new mission. So the way we do this is the highest number of these triangle chits here, this one which is a 5, will be flipped face down and put in the space that Lynn's ship is in. The now empty space is where the new mission is drawn. So what is our new mission there? Oh, it's a double blue mission worth a possible 4 points, it looks like. It looks like it has, the first blue would get you 3 upgrades on the gold track, while the second blue, if you had a second blue crew member to place there, would allow you to discard a cargo to get a android, which is really cool. Now, androids will, let me explain those real quick because Lynn just got an android. Androids cannot be used to activate the basic rooms, but they can be used to qualify for the lines on missions. There are a few missions in the deck that actually have gold lines, which only androids can qualify for those bonuses, but androids are actually wild when qualifying for any other lines, and therefore can qualify for any color line. So, Lynn, are you all done?
Yes.
Okay, so pass me my mission, because I'm going to do my mission now. So I'm going to plug my mission into my board over here, and I am going to place a yellow and a red ensign each to do the 2 lines of my mission. My mission is going to be worth 6 points. Now the red line allows me to get a single upgrade on any track. I'm going to upgrade the purple track, and the reason I am is because the first spot on the purple track gets me a medal. So I'm going to immediately take a medal from the purple track. The second spot on my mission here is yellow, which gets me another medal. So I will get me 2 medals for completing this mission, which is not bad at all. I'm going to slide my crew members on down, at which point we are going to flip the next largest of the red triangle tokens, the 4, face down and put it on my planet and replace its previous planet with a new mission. Boy, there's a lot of missions that need a lot of blue out there right now, aren't there? So there's probably going to be some upgrading to some more blue ensigns, I am sure, coming soon. That is it for my turn.
I'm going to pass.
Now, Lynn passed even though she had that android there, and the reason is since you can't use the android to activate any of her runes, he's not really of much use to her yet. Now, I still have a blue ensign over here, and I am going to use him to get a tech upgrade. So I'm going to tap my blue room here and slide him to the end, and then I can take any of the techs from over here and place them on my technology board here. If I match up with a neighboring symbol, I will immediately get that effect, but also I will from now on get the effect of the particular card that I just got. I'm going to take this technology here, the navigator suit, and add it to my board. Placing it here, the wrench on the suit matches up with a wrench that was already on the board. When you match a symbol like that, either up with a neighboring card or a symbol already on the board, you immediately get to take its action. So for this particular case, it lets me do a free repair. I'm going to repair one of the damage on my technology board. You could repair damage either to your cargo hold or your technology board, your choice. New damage is always placed on your cargo hold, though, not your technology board. In addition, this particular technology, the navigator suit, allows promoting of red ensigns to red commanders for 1 less medal. Normally it requires 3 medals. Now it will only cost me 2 medals to do that. After doing that, I will replace the technology with a new card, which is now a blue room card that allows you to use a blue ensign to activate, to discard a cargo, to be able to get a tech, and do an upgrade anywhere you want on any of the 3 boards at the top over here. That's actually a really good room. Lynn, it is, you had already passed, so it's just going to bounce back to me, and now I am going to pass. Now that everyone has passed, we are going to slide our crew members down to leave only the last 3 on the track. Everybody else is going to enter our ready room over here. Then we are going to take the stuff from this round's board up here, which we each get 1 medal. Here's your medal. And in this case, this chit is added to the starting space station. So now if anyone ends a turn on the space station, they get that chit for this round, which will give them a +1 upgrade on each of those upgrade boards up here. Just like the ones that are already on the other space stations, which give you other various advantages if you are to end your turn on them. Then we change who is the first player, and that's it, and we're ready to go for round 2. So for round 2, I get to go first, and I'm going to start with upgrading one of my red ensigns to a commander. Now it costs me normally 3 medals to do that, but again, remember, because of my recent purchase of the navigator suit, it costs me only 2 medals. The way this is done is I take one of these white rings from my board and I place it on one of my red ensigns. They are now a red commander. Now, it could cost you, like you saw before, 1 medal to upgrade a cadet to an ensign. It can also cost you 1 medal to retrain an ensign to a different color ensign. But once they are a commander, they cannot change color. The bonus for commanders, let me explain that right now, is that if you use them to activate a room, they could then activate a second room or the same room again. So for instance, a red commander could do 2 move actions, or a move and a repair. And when used to fill one of the line requirements for a mission, what happens is they actually get to do that line twice, which is very, very valuable. But they have to do everything on that line twice. So that is going to be it for my upgrade there. Now for my actual turn, my actual action I'm taking, I'm going to use my red ensign to activate a move. I am going to move 1, 2. Now I had to cross a pirate to do that, which means I take a damage. Now, like I said before, new damage is always added to cargo holds. So I'm going to put a damage on my cargo hold. But now I'm at this planet because obviously I would like to do that particular mission. And missions are one of the easiest ways to get lots of bonuses and points for the end of the game. But I can't do that this turn, so I'm done, and it is Lynn's turn.
I'm going to do a move, and I'm just moving right there.
Oh, I see what's going on. So I'm going to do the mission on the planet that I am on. I'm going to take the mission and put it over here, and I'm going to use my yellow ensign and my red commander. So I'm going to get to show you what I just told you about red commanders immediately. So this is a 4-point mission, so that's nice. It's going to get me 4 points. But also, having a red commander here means I'm going to get to upgrade 2 anywhere. White means any of the boards can upgrade 2, but I get to do it twice. Possibly the same board, possibly different boards. That will be up to me. And then the yellow will let me do it a 3rd time. So I'm going to get 6 upgrades in groups of 2 as I want them on the boards. So first I'm going to upgrade my purple board twice, and then twice again, which gets me another medal. So I'm going to add a medal to my board here. And then Lynn, would you upgrade me on the black board twice, which gets me a repair. I'm going to repair this token from off of my tech board here. And that is going to be it for that. So I'm going to take this and put it face down in my pile of completed missions. Then we have to, of course, flip the highest number red token over face down to the location I'm at and replace that token with a new mission. Then it is Lynn's turn.
I'm going to do my mission.
Ooh, okay. Are you going to use an android for it?
No, I'm just going to use the regular colors.
Okay.
So the yellow, I need to take a damage. And I also get an android.
Look at you saving up those androids. You're going to have plenty to go around for those difficult missions like the double blues.
For the blue, I go up twice on the gold track, and that gets me a medal.
Oh, very nice. Okay, and again, we are going to take the largest, which is now a 2, and flip it face down. And when would you flip us up a new mission over there? I'm going to use my blue ensign to activate the technology here, which allows me to take attack from the board over here. I'm going to take this particular room here called a replicator. Now this room I'm going to place right here so that it will match up with this award of giving me a medal. So I'm going to take another medal and add it to my board. Now, this particular room, this one is a colored room, which means I actually in the future will be able to use a yellow ensign or commander to activate this room instead of doing the basic room on the board, which is used to fight pirates. I could use this room instead to do a repair, gain a cargo, and gain a pirate from the supply into my cargo spaces, which is really, really pretty cool. So that's going to be it for me, though, and then it is going to be Lynn's turn.
I am going to upgrade, promote my ensign to a commander.
Ooh, red commander, eh?
Yes. And then I'm going to use him to move. I'm going to go 1, 2.
Now, when doing that move, first of all, Lynn gets to decide if she wants to take a second action, either on the same room doing another move, or on the gray room doing a repair, or she can actually pull one of her red ensigns out of the waiting queue for the room and bring them into the ready room. Lynn, which would you rather do?
I'm going to do a repair.
Okay, so Lynn is going to repair. You're repairing from the cargo hold then?
Yes.
And now, ending her turn on this particular space station means she gets the token, which we are going to place discarded in the next area here. Now, this token gives her a free repair and a free cargo. So Lynn will take a random cargo. What did you wind up with? What colors?
Blue and red.
Now those cargoes, they can be worth points at the end of the game, but also they can be discarded in pairs as long as one of the colors of the two tokens match. So for instance, 2 that are half red could be discarded to do a red room action. This one is red or blue, so she'll need to match it up with either a red or a blue to be able to discard them to do a red action without having to spend an ensign on it. Are you finished with your turn?
Yes.
I am going to pass.
I'm going to pass too.
The next thing we're going to do, of course, is slide all of our crew members down so that everyone but the last 3 are in the ready room. We are then going to take the items from the turn 3 part of the track up here. In this case, we each get a new cadet added to our ready room. And also, if there was no one on this space station, we would add the chit to it. But since Lynn is already there, we're actually going to just pass this chit down to the 4th round to see if no one is there to add it to that space station next round. Then we pass the first player token on to Lynn, and we're going to start off round 3.
So I'm going to do a move.
Okay.
I am just going to move over here.
Oh, okay, I see. That is a good mission to want to complete. Is that it for your turn?
Yes.
Okay. At the beginning of my turn, I'm going to discard 1 medal to upgrade my cadet to a blue ensign. Then I'm going to spend 2 medals to upgrade one of my red cadets, my red ensigns, to a red commander. Because again, remember, I have that technology that gives me a discount when promoting my red ensigns to red commanders. Then I am going to use my red ensign here on this move to be able to move this way over here to this planet because I do want to eventually do that mission. So that is going to be it for my turn.
I am going to use my yellow ensign to shoot that pirate.
So now when you shoot a pirate, this pirate here is the one I'm assuming you're shooting. I don't think there's any that are adjacent to you. They have to be in an adjacent spaceway to you. You get the reward on them and take a damage. So in this case, Lynn is going to get another android, and she's going to take 1 damage. Lynn takes that pirate's skull down and places it on her board in one of her cargo spaces. And of course, the damage has to go to her cargo hold. Is that going to be it for your turn?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to complete the mission that I am on. Now, this mission requires 2 blue to get all the bonuses, so I'm going to use both blue ensigns so I can do that. Now, the first one gives me a damage, but also allows me to upgrade 4 times on the gold board, which will go 1, 2, 3, 4, getting me another medal, which, of course, as you can see, medals are very valuable because of all the promoting you get to do with them to your crew members. Now, the second one here allows me to either buy a tech upgrade or discard a tech upgrade if I want to get rid of an older one and replace it with a new one from the area. I'm going to use it to get this red room here, which just came up recently because the I don't get the bonuses, so I'm just going to put it here so it doesn't bother matching up with anything because it doesn't need to, because I'm not allowed to get the bonuses with this upgrade. But this red room allows me to use a red crew member to get 2 upgrades to the boards up here anywhere I want them. Now that I've completed my mission, I'm going to place it face down. I'm going to slide my crew members down the track. And of course, we have to take the highest red number, which is a 1. And when this happens, we have a pirate uprising. So the way the pirate uprising goes is we're going to flip up all of our triangles to the red side again. Is that all? Mm-hmm. We're going to place out pirates face down next to each of the red triangles. Then we reveal the pirates from high number on down, and the color of the engines show you which space they take in the adjacent space lane. So this being yellow engines means it goes on the yellow track here. The 4 over there is yellow also.
There is already a yellow.
Which means he gets discarded. The 3, which is over here, winds up a pink, so he goes here. The 2, which is next, is over here, gets green, so they go to this space lane here. The 1 gets flipped and is a pink. There is already someone on the pink track. Now you may notice that a couple of the tracks had spaceships on them that did not match the color of their tracks for their engines. And the reason for that is, remember, we do random setup of the ships on any space in the beginning of the game with the skulls on them, so they didn't have to actually match the color of the track they were on then. Now that we are done with that, though, we're going to move on to the next turn, which is Lynn's turn, because that'll happen at the end of my turn.
I am going to complete this mission.
Are you going to use some androids for that one?
I think I am. I'm going to use... Actually, I'm going to use androids for both.
So now, again, using the androids is wild. Now, androids are one use only. They will be discarded, but it means Lynn's going to get to save her other ensigns and cadets for future use. So what do you get for your 2 tracks over there?
The first one has the purple go up one, which will get me a medal.
That is really nice, which means you'll be able to promote that cadet next round for even further use.
And then the second one gets me 3 repairs.
That's great. Wow. So
and then these guys just
get discarded. So is that going to be it for your turn there?
Yes.
So we're going to flip the 5 now back over there, and we're going to continue bringing up another new mission. On my turn, I'm going to use my red commander to activate the red space first, which allows me to do a move. I'm going to move on to this planet here with this mission. But then for his second activation, he's going to activate the captain's chair, which gets me 2 upgrades on the boards up here. And then, of course, I put it in the back of my queue here. I'm going to upgrade my yellow board one because it gets me a free random cargo. I'm going to draw and get a yellow-blue cargo. That's nice. And I'm going to upgrade my purple one because one more there, and it's my most upgraded track, will get me onto the next point area on that track. And that will be it for my turn.
Okay, I'm going to promote my cadet to a red ensign.
Oh, you're going to have some extra movement going on.
And then I'm going to use my blue one for a technology.
Ah.
And I'm going to take this one.
Oh, it's a red room. Are you going to get an instant immediate effect on that one?
Yeah, I can match it with the wrench, so I get...
A repair?
A repair.
Oh, you're getting really well repaired up. What does that one do for you?
I can discard a pirate to upgrade any one of the tracks twice and get a cargo.
That's great. Of course, you have to use a red crew member to do that as well, but that is actually really, really good. I'm going to complete the mission on the planet I am on. It only requires 1 yellow ensign to do it, and it gives me immediately 2 points, a medal, and a single upgrade on the black track. Lynn, would you move me up there on the black track? Thank you. And I'll take my 1 medal. Of course, my ensign heads on down the track here, and I will collect that card, and I will flip over the 4 for that area while flipping up a new mission for that planet. Oh, and this is one of the missions that requires a actual android to complete it. You can't. You can complete the mission, but you won't get that line's effects without having an android there.
I'm going to use my red ensign to do this room that I just got.
Okay.
And so I'm going to discard my pirate.
Okay.
I'm going to upgrade. I can upgrade one track twice. I'm going to do this one so I can get a repair.
You are almost completely repaired. Well done.
And then I also get a cargo.
Oh, very nice. So Lynn can either now match that together as 2 red cargoes or 2 blue cargoes to be able to do a red or blue room. Now, on my turn, I just have to pass because I have no one left in my ready room. I've got nothing else I can do, which means it is now Lynn's turn.
I'm going to discard both of these to use as a move, as the red.
Okay, where you headed?
I'm just going to go right over here to the...
Oh, so that gives you, we remove that to the next area, put that on the next area there, and that gives you an immediate upgrade to each board. So 1 upgrade on each. I'll move the last one for you. Okay. And I've already passed, so right back around to you.
Oh, then I'm going to use my red guy to move over here.
Okay. Again, I've already passed. Are you going to do the mission?
I'm going to do the mission.
Okay, let me pass you the mission. Go ahead.
I have an android that I can use.
Okay.
So I go up 1 more on the gold track.
Which gets you a cargo.
Gets me a cargo. And then
you get a cargo.
I also get another cargo.
Wow, way to go with the cargo over there.
I got 2. I matched with the yellows.
Oh, so you could discard them still. So you still possibly could take another turn. But hold on, before you do that, let us flip over the correct number. We're down to the 3, and we'll put another mission there. You could still take another turn if you would like to fight one of the pirates over here. Now, you've got the one that could give you an extra medal and another cargo, or you've got one that would give you another android. Both are good. You've got the option, though.
I'm going to do the one that gives an android.
Oh, you love those androids. So you're going to go ahead and discard those 2 yellows.
Yes.
That gets you 1 damage, an android, and the pirate, which, of course, you have the room that lets you discard pirates for lots of extra cool effects. So it's no wonder you did that, because that is really, really cool. And don't forget your android.
Oh, I did forget my android.
So that's it. That is how you play a game of Starship Captains. You go through this, all of this 1 more round, and then at the end of the final round, you add up the points. Lynn, what do you get points for in Starship Captains?
Points for the missions.
Which are, of course, listed on every mission in their bottom corners.
Points for the tracks.
Which each area of the track tells you how many points you have on it. And if you lap a track, you get to flip your token over and it becomes worth 5 points. The first 2 tracks lapped allow you to trigger the events on their cards on them. The third one will discard its event.
Points for Omega cards.
Now, the Omega cards are the green tech cards in the bottom right there. They have symbols that show you getting points for certain things. They're Omega cards that give you points for all sorts of kind of resources that you're holding on to, or crew members, or specific, basically specific types of missions that you have completed, or all sorts of different things. But a lot of times they can be make or break in helping you win the game.
Commanders, androids, and pirates.
Every commander, android, and pirate you have gives you an extra point.
And medals and cargo give a half point each.
And then you subtract points for the number of damage you haven't removed, which of course Lynn has a huge leg up on me on that one because she's only got 2 damage left on her entire area over there, whereas I actually have around the same amount of damage I started with because I removed some from my tech board but got more in my cargo holds. And that's it. That is how you play a game of Starship Captain. So now I'm going to head back. I'm going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels. And I'm going to rate it and review it. Welcome back. So that was how you play a game of Starship Captains. All right, so we're going to start with the negatives so we can end on the positives. My first negative is that there is no insert. This is such a minor gripe, but it is something I did want to address. The plastic bags do an okay job, but they don't feel as nice as having an insert. Also, there's a couple interesting places where, of course, a lot of companies are having to get creative with cutting corners to bring costs down on production of games so that they can keep the cost down for selling because things are getting more expensive. Like the fact that they cut costs on having the ships be cardboard versus plastic ships, or having there be no insert, or also having the cheat sheets be that very, very, very thin cardstock where they were almost like pamphlet paper almost. All of that are minor gripes. I have no gripes with the gameplay of this game. This gameplay is very fun. It is really cool. It simulates the idea that like you are each a Federation starship from Star Trek going around doing bottle episode missions to earn points, and because you want to be the most successful starship captain with the most successful crew. You are upgrading your crew. It plays kind of like a worker placement game, but it feels like this has evolved to maybe a new version of the worker placement mechanic, because you don't actually put the workers on a spot. You just sort of tap the spot and then put them in the slide, the path that leads them back around to eventually coming back to the ready room. I love the upgrading of the workers. I love the doing the missions. I love all of the mechanics in this. The gaining the technology. I absolutely love it when you get to promote your crew members up to being officers. They are great. I love getting to do double lines on some of the objective cards, or do 2 different rooms. A lot of fun there. I love the upgrading of the technologies so that each player winds up being a bit asymmetrical halfway through the game, because once you start getting some technologies that alter the cost of things or give you extra rooms to activate, this becomes a significant difference between the way each player will play. And that is freaking awesome. So my minor gripes that I had do not outweigh any of this. They do not outweigh the awesomeness of the theme. They do not outweigh the awesomeness of the mechanics or the great look of the game on the tabletop. I mean, the bright colors, the wonderful artwork on the cards, all of this, along with the plastic crew figures and the recessed boards, looks great when you have it out on the tabletop. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but I really like this game. This one's a really good one. You know what? If you are a fan of any of the interesting mechanics that we showed you during the tutorial portion, which again, I feel like this game is only sort of a worker placement game. I feel like the worker placement mechanic has evolved into almost a new thing and maybe needs a new name if it catches on and other people do something similar to the way it works in here, because it doesn't work like old school worker placement at all. But if you're a fan of any of it, or any of it looked interesting to you, I would definitely recommend this game to you. Also, if you are a gamer who is a fan of Star Trek, I would definitely recommend this game to you, because this game, in my opinion, feels more like Star Trek than a lot of the official IP Star Trek games out there, which is really pretty cool. I get an absolute thrill from the theme and from the mechanics. Very good, very thematic, very fun. This is going to be a big thumbs up from me. I'm going to give Starship Captains 8 out of 10 stars. Really enjoyed this game a lot. This one's staying in the collection for the foreseeable future. Yeah, so there you have it. 8 stars out of 10. Let me know what you thought of this game down below if you got a chance to try it. And if you enjoyed this review and tutorial of a board game, you'd like to see me do more like it, be sure to give it a like. Share it on all forms of social media. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to The Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.